Welcome to the culture. We rest at the pulse of the community, providing all things news, music, fashion, events, and everything that we talk about in between. It's a lifestyle. We are the culture. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Jessica Garrett-Motkins, and joining us today is Lakeisha Frith, Education Manager at the Adrienne Arsht Center of Performing Arts. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jessica. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, especially after we've had such a riveting conversation before we even started. I want all of the viewers to know you are South Dade grown. You went to school in South Dade for high school as well as middle school. And it's just such a pleasure to have this connection through the Adrienne Arsht Center of Performing Arts for you to come and share with us all of the wonderful things that you're doing there during Women's History Month. So I just want to jump right in. You are a musician, and then you're
Yes.
also a lover of arts, which has led you to the passion in which you fulfill every day. But tell us a little bit about your musical journey. What sparked that within you to know that music was something that you would want to pursue?
That would be my mom. My mom was a lover of music, and there was a program in our neighborhood at R.R. Moden Elementary. They had violin, and she said, Keisha, I think you should join this program. I think you should play the violin. And I had neighbors that were already in the program, and I went to a concert, and there were so many kids playing Black and brown children, and I was like, I want to do this. So I started my journey at R.R. Moden. I continued in the magnet music program at Southwood Middle and also Coral Reef Senior High School. So it's always been a part of my life. I was in the Greater Miami Youth Symphony growing up. We had a wonderful conductor, David Eccles, who was an African-American man and just inspired me to keep pushing and going for my goals. So it's always been a part. My younger sister plays the viola. The little one was doing violin also, but kind of switched paths. But yes, it's always been a part of my life. And now I'm a part of the New Cannon Chamber Collective, which is an ensemble of Black and brown musicians here in Miami-Dade County.
Wow, such an interesting history and path. And from what I understand, you are equally as passionate about education and children. Tell me what allowed you to be able to find that passion and integrate the love for both.
So when I was in high school, I started volunteering with the Greater Miami Youth Symphony, and I volunteered to help after school. Even in middle school, I would stay after school and help out. I wanted to learn as much as possible. And for me, it kept me out of trouble, I will say, to stay busy. And so when I finished, I guess my last year of high school, I started working at a local music store, and I was working in the front and teaching kids and working with them. And I felt that music changed my life, and I wanted to have that for students in my community. So my previous job, I was working for the Greater Miami Youth Symphony, and we had outreach all over Miami-Dade County. And it was so important to me. I saw how these children looked up to me, they admired me, and I learned a lot from working with them as well.
Nice. And I was getting ready to ask you that. Have you learned anything about yourself during your tenure in arts and in music education from the students?
You learn so much from the students. Number one, you can't take yourself so seriously. I think as adults, we get in our head and we're just stressed about everything, and they just bring you back to reality. They could learn a song and it doesn't even sound amazing, but they're so excited that they learned, and they want to show you and they want to show their parents. They also use it as a form of expression. So through my job here at the Adrienne Arsht Center, we work in all disciplines, not just music. So through theater, dance, and we also invite a lot of students, all of our Miami-Dade County school students, to the Arsht to come and see performances through Learning Through the Arts program. And when they walk into our halls, you always hear a gasp. Like every time that we have a field trip and I'll be in the lobby and the students come in off the buses and they're like, Oh my gosh, because it's so beautiful. It's an elevated experience. And that's just no matter what we're presenting, if we're presenting one of our programs, Rock Odyssey or Kitty Hawk, if we're presenting the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater Company, the students are always so inspired when they walk through our doors. And I feel that it changes their life. Just that moment, coming off the bus, coming into the Arsht Center and seeing the possibilities, whether that's to be on stage or to be a patron of the arts or a lover like myself of the arts.
And then, Lakeisha, being a Black woman, many times the only one in the room, there comes a great responsibility with that. But there also can be, it can be discouraging as well. Have you had a moment in where you said to yourself, yes, I am where I am supposed to be? Tell us about that, as well as any advice that you can give to other women who are in the room and they are in a silo, for a
It is,
lack of a better way
yeah,
to describe
yeah.
it.
I definitely feel that way all the time. Many rooms, spaces that I'm in, I'm the only Black woman or woman of color, whether that be from my background in classical music or also working at a large performing arts center such as this. People have stereotypes about Black women and people of color. And it's like, oh, you play the violin, or that composer, or I program the lectures for our classical series here at the Arsht Center, and everyone is always like, oh, how do you know about Brahms or Beethoven? And I always have to just have a moment with myself, and I think about the education. And unfortunately, I feel like I have to educate a lot of people in my life, not just children, but those who are not familiar with Black people and how we're multifaceted, how we enjoy all kinds of music, all kinds of art forms, and that we're not a monolith. So I'm constantly thinking about that and just, try to lead with love as much as I can, as despite getting frustrated. But I think it's important that people see us in leadership positions and that people know what we have to offer and that we're not all the same, you know.
Right.
So that is something that I definitely think about a lot. And with our young people, when they see me, making sure that I greet them with a smile, show them some love, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And they will be in spaces that are not comfortable. When I was a child, my mom used to I said, Mom, I don't want to go to this school. There's nobody there that looks like me. I don't want to be there. And my mom told me, Lakeisha, you're going to be in the real world, and the real world is not all Black. And you have to be able to get along with other people. You have to stand firm and let them know who you are. And I always take that message with me.
That's great. That's great. It would be nice for everybody to look like you, but that's
It's
not reality. It's
it's not,
not reality.
yeah,
It's not reality.
right.
So
Even here in Miami, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then even when you leave outside of Miami, the way Miami looks is not how it looks in northern Florida or in
Correct.
Atlanta. So it's that versatility that really makes other Black people just stronger. It makes us stronger because we're resilient people. We come from a resilient lineage. And
Yes.
then it allows us to be able to, as my sister would say, assimilate in different
Yes.
groups. And
Spaces.
yes, yes. So now let's delve into a little bit more of the work that you do at the Arsht Center. I understand that there were over 80,000 students and 103 teaching artists who participated in your programming last year. Can you tell us about the education programs that you oversee?
Yes, so last year I partnered with three other organizations here in Miami-Dade County. So it was the Arsht Center, the South Miami-Dade Cultural Arts Center, Culture Shock Miami, and Miami Theater Center. And we came together to present Black violin. There was an opportunity to present Black violin virtually, and Broward County had bought it for their students. And we said, we want to bring this to the kids in Miami-Dade County. We want them to have this experience. COVID was just rearing its ugly head. None of us were offering in-person programming. And so we offered Black violin, we came together, and then we offered a series of 6 other performances throughout the season. So we decided this year, we were kind of up in the air. Are we going back in person? Are we not? And we decided to continue with virtual programming. We are presenting a show about James Baldwin called Citizen James. We had Step Africa in December, and all of these are free and were available virtual to all students and teachers in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. What I found is that it reduced the barriers to access. So with them not being able to physically come to the center and watch a show, we wanted to make sure that we were still presenting high quality programming. We were picking artists that were of a national, international level, and that's something that the students and teachers would enjoy, to take a break, mental break, and also still enjoying the arts at their schools. So yes, we had over 80,000 students tune in with their teachers. We got a lot of amazing feedback. And even when we resume in-person field trips, sometimes it's too far. Sometimes there's an issue with bus scheduling or different things. So virtual content, I think, is here to stay. It doesn't replace the in-person experience, but it also removes that barrier to access for students who may not be able to get to the Arsht Center. Maybe they have testing at their school that week that we're presenting something, but the teacher can pop on one of these virtual field trips. We just offered Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater Company as a virtual field trip, and we've already had, there's about a week left, and we've already had about 10,000 students and teachers tune into that field trip. So
Awesome.
it's been amazing. We had to really think. I was like, how do we pivot? How do we make sure that we have something for our community? We also had Arsht at Home last year, where teaching artists were doing visual art, writing, poetry, things that you could do at home, either with your family or alone. So we just wanted to make sure it was high quality, it was interesting, it was relevant, and just gave everybody a little bit of break from all the craziness that was going on in our community, and actually in the whole world, right, with the pandemic. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Now, did you talk about I Am Me?
So I Am Me is in person. I Am Me is the third program in our Learning Through the Arts. We previously had Rock Odyssey for 5th grade, Kitty Hawk for 7th grade, and now I Am Me for 9th grade. This is a tour. So instead of the students coming to the Arsht Center, we are taking the cast, the crew, the set, and we're going to all of the Miami-Dade County public high schools. This show focuses on mental health, immigration, stories about Miami students in high school growing up here. So the concept started about 3 years ago. We invited students from all over the county to come and spend the day with us. What do you want to see on our stage for 9th grade? And we presented all kinds of art forms, some that existed already, and they worked with the teaching artist, and they said, we want to see our stories on stage. And so we had a writing team that started prior to the pandemic. During the pandemic, they were on Zoom, the story shifted, and it ended up being little vignettes, stories about students growing up in Miami-Dade County and what they go through. So we've been on tour. We have a resource guide that was a collaboration with us and the South Miami-Dade Cultural Arts Center, having art therapists, dance therapists, drama therapists, so there are wellness activities that you can do with your students. And that coincide with the show. We've been doing workshops at different schools, and it's been amazing. It's been a tour. Every day we go to a new school, Monday through Friday.
So you mentioned therapy. There is a mental health wellness component to it.
Yes. So the show delves into feelings of isolation. There's loneliness. There is immigrant stories, things like that. And so we wanted to make sure that we provided resources for the students in case any feelings came up. So we let them know about the counselors at their school, and this is what's available to you. But we also wanted to create a resource guide that had activities that would kind of get them out of their head. So for example, we worked with a drama therapist, which I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't even know there was such a thing, right. And South Florida, we only have like a handful. And so she worked on different activities with the students that they could do role playing, and I would share how I was feeling, and then my partner would act it out. And so we could have that dialogue, and it was just a really amazing experience to see, but also how we can work on our wellness, taking care of ourselves through the arts. It doesn't always have to be talk therapy. So that was something that I learned, and that I'm hoping that students and teachers will take away from this. There's dance activities and movement, putting on your favorite song and just taking a few minutes to dance it out, shake it out with your classmates, and things like that that can just help you to get out of your head and get into something fun and active that'll make you feel better.
Nice. And now it sounds like the ones that we've mentioned before were uh, opportunities that come from the school. If you are a student and your school is not participating in any of the programs that you all are providing, do they alert their teacher? How would you suggest that
Yeah,
they
please.
move forward with trying to take advantage of some of the
I
opportunities?
would say to please email us, education@arshtcenter.org, because I'm directly in contact with the school system. We're reaching out to every high school to provide this program. And so if they're interested in any of our programs, virtual or in person, let their teacher know to reach out to us via email or check out our website. And you can also contact us through the website. But our email is education@arshtcenter.org. And
Okay.
I'll definitely put the wheels in motion so that we can make sure that if they're not coming, they have access to the content that we're providing.
Okay, and then you mentioned this earlier, a program that's currently accepting applications. They're now available for Ailey Camp Miami
Ailey Camp
2022.
Miami,
The Art
yes.
Center's Ailey Camp Miami is free. Full scholarships for the summer program are available. Please tell our viewers how they can participate in this beautiful program that you all have continued
Beautiful
to provide.
program. Yeah, we are celebrating our quinceañera this year, 15th season of the Arts Center. Ailey Camp Miami has been with us, I believe, since the first season. It's an amazing 6-week summer camp. We have the students come, they're bussed in, they have breakfast, lunch with us. They learn about ballet, all the dance forms, but they also work on personal development and creative expression. We are so proud of Ailey Camp Miami, and we're so happy to offer it again. Last year we were in person, and this year we will be in person again. Applications are available on the Arts Center website, and as you mentioned, Jessica, once you're accepted into this program, is completely free of charge.
Now, any closing thoughts to parents who may have this artistic child at home and they just know that there's something in them and they're not getting it from their school? Are there any things that the parents can do by reaching out to you to participate in other opportunities?
Yes, please reach out to us at the Arts Center. I see us as a resource and a conduit to what else is going on in our community. And if it's a program that we don't offer, there's a lot of groups that we do work with that we will put you in touch with. And we're so lucky to be in the city of Miami-Dade County, where a lot of this programming is free and available. And like you said, sometimes we just don't know who to ask and reach out to. So please
Mhm.
contact us, and I'll be happy to put them in touch with any programs that they're interested in.
Well, thank you so much, Lakeisha, for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you providing all of the insight for our families that view the culture every week. And I'm certain that you should be hearing something from them. And to you, our culture family, make sure you join us tonight for another edition of My Two Cents. It'll be a great time as usual right here at 6 p.m. on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on Video Mix TV. We'll see you tonight.
The Culture is produced and owned by the Culture Media Group and cannot be